the Booth Brothers.
Hello.
I am actually shocked you guys didn't have some place to be tonight.
Oh.
Well, we're recording upstairs, and
So I'm just interrupting work.
no, you never
Creation.
You never
Interrupting
interrupt
creation.
us. Yeah, you never interrupt us.
Oh, okay. Now, to the Booth Brothers. Welcome back to the show, fellas.
Thank you very much.
I'm just glad we finally got that attached behind us.
Oh, I know, and it's still doing incredibly well too.
Yeah.
That's
No,
wonderful.
It's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. I love the movie. I love the concept behind it. All that. The documentary. All that. But I'm just saying it was nice to see you all come out with something fresh.
Yes, it was. It's
Well, we'd be coming out with more things fresh. We just got to move quick.
yeah. I think when you're an indie company and you're doing self-financing and self-production, it takes a lot of time. And if you really care about it, it does take a little time. Some of the ones that were the best sellers for us, such as like Children of the Grave or Spooked, The Exorcist File, they took what, two and a half years per project to do.
Yeah.
Because we just don't, do the night vision thing. We do the whole history and then the recreation, and it takes a lot of time. So, look how long Never Blink took. I mean, we were honored to win the ScareFest Award in 23, was it, I think?
Yeah.
For Never Blink. You were there, you helped us celebrate that. And it was very exciting that it's going to be airing July 29th everywhere. And so, that's really exciting.
Yeah, you hear a quick story that we were filming, and we had done everything but the very ending,
Yeah.
and we only had one day to do the whole ending of the film. And we staying on budget, we got to do this. So we're shooting the end of the film, and it's like and I just had to look at Phil and say, we got to close this down. We ain't gonna get what we want. And we had to be, as a producer, one of the producers, I had to say, let's just call it.
Yeah,
and
it
everybody's
was
going like,
nerve-wracking.
what happened? What happened? We just closed the movie down. And then we scheduled a reshoot like 4 months
But what
later.
was exciting about it was when you do the meant to be, it allowed us to regroup, raise, additional funds, and go back and shoot a whole new ending. And we used a haunted, deserted school. Dan Allen, I'll do a shout out to him.
Stop. Yeah.
For STOP, which stands for Save the Old Properties. He goes around and purchases old abandoned buildings and does ghost hunts there. And then he allows us to film, horror films and stuff there. And he had this school that looked like the school out of Silent Hill, all dilapidated.
It was falling
and what
down,
was
yeah.
cool, Wes, was it had the same locations that Collingwood, another shout out to Collingwood Arts Center in Ohio, Toledo, Ohio, amazing location.
An old convent.
But this school had the hallways the same, the staircase is the same, the old auditorium was the same, but the difference was one was completely dilapidated and one was completely rebuilt. So when you go back into the Never Blink world, into the Blink world, we needed it to be destroyed. And we were so lucky that this school had mimic mirror images of what we had just shot at Collingwood Arts Center.
When you arranged the location, is that what caught your eye about it, or did you not realize that until you saw it on camera? The
No.
similarities between the two places.
You kind of know.
No, it was storyboarded.
I mean, I do most of the location scouting. I've done it since for 30 years. And I kind of just know. And you also write around your budget, and you go, I can afford this, and I got a friend who will help us out with this, and we can do that to it and do that to it. And then whatever props are around, you write those scenes into the movie so you can save money that way. If it has an old blown up hospital room, you write a hospital room scene, But we knew right away because it just looked like it was right out of Planet of the Apes, blown up, and we got to do it here.
It was an amazing location because the paint was peeling off and all the lockers were rusty and I mean, you didn't have to do much. It was like when we shot Death Tunnel, for Sony. When you shot at Waverly Hills Sanatorium, you didn't really have to do a lot of art direction. It was already there. So that's the kind of thing when you're doing independent movies, is to try to find a location that is already like that,
Chad, over to you.
Gentlemen, it's great to get to talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
Always one of the highlights when I get to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Online. So it is a pleasure to get to talk to you about this. And in a few minutes, we'll try to get into some of your music stuff too.
Good.
But on this, there was a screening, like you said, at ScareFest. For anybody who missed it, can you give them kind of the trailer pitch of, or the elevator pitch of what to be looking for? And then, and you touched on that it's about to be available, so can you give us some idea of where people will be able to?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think the concept started was when I was blinking and I thought, why does, I noticed this blackness in your eyes when you go to blink. And I'm going, well, the scientific fact is when you add that up throughout the day, you actually blink for 48 minutes in a day. And you spend 48 minutes in that little black darkness when you blink, like it goes black, black, black. And I went, what if there's something in there that that we're not seeing when we blink?
It's a tenth of a second.
What if there's a whole nother world of maybe even creatures in there that get you? And then I thought, wow, that's really scary. I can't even blink anymore because now I'm worried, like, what am I seeing in that dark? Am I seeing? And so that's how the story started to, revolve, and we got some writers. And
then so we brought on additional investors and writers, and Amy Rover, who did really great job, and we kind of thought Flatliners meets Alien would be a kind of a cool thing, and what would you see in the Blink world? And it has blown up for us, Chad. And we had 800,000 views in a week. So that is amazing. It's going to be airing on Vudu, Fandango. I think it used to be Vudu. It's going to be on Amazon Prime. It's going to be on Apple Plus, Google Play, every major streaming platform that there is, it's there. But July 29th, we're pretty psyched for it. I mean, it's been a hell of a ride. We're excited people to see it. There's a lot of passion.
Well, I've been working on it for 3 years.
There's a lot of passion in this project. People don't get that, how much time we spend making these movies for people. It's not just like, a low budget movie where you just kind of bang it out. In 2 months, you turn it around. Like, these are really, really complex films. They're done like, these are our Blade Runners, and we treat it as such. Like the score.
How did you go about visualizing the set pieces, the computer screens, the visualizations, the monster, all that stuff? This is very high tech.
Well, I think one of the lessons in independent filmmaking is never make a science fiction film because it's going to cost you a lot of money. Our film started out horror and drifted to the sci-fi market. So once we're in the science fiction market, we had no choice but to put everything and use every element we could do to get the most high-tech computer screens and all that kind of stuff. And as far as the costuming, that was just, I've done costuming for 40 years. That's what I do as well, and I love doing it. And I just go and see something, and I would take this piece and mount it with that piece and mount it with that piece. Back in the day, I used to take all the movie props from old movies like Waterworld and RoboCop in Hollywood, and I would piece those together and make all new costuming. And I would love doing that. And then, of course, the monster. The monster was based off of this is very fascinating.
SCP.
Is based off of the 5 scariest things on the internet. And I did research on the 5 scariest things on the internet that went viral, and it really influenced me, and they were all kind of put together to create Blink Man. If you saw that Russian video of Sleep.
Yeah, sleep deprivation.
Deprivation of all those Russian soldiers who were made to stay awake for years or months or whatever it was, and they started looking like monsters, and it was a viral thing. I had to have that, so his eyes and his cheeks looked like that dude. And then there's an SCP character, if you know what SCP is, big in the game market, of these creatures that kids create on the fly, and they submit it, and they create stories out of them. And some of them are so scary, and I'm so influenced with it. So that's how it all became like that.
We were also blessed to have incredible makeup artists, special effects makeup artists that had worked on classic movies. Like when we did Dead Still for NBC, for Sci-Fi with Ray Wise, we got to work with the lighting crew that lit the original Friday the 13th. So when you got these classic people working on your movie that did these classic 70s, 80s horror films, now we fast forward to Never Blink. The people that did the makeup effects on the creatures did The Thing, and they did these old 80s horror movies. So we didn't go with CGI. We went with practical effects on the creature, and that's what you're talking about. It shows that they went with stuff that would be, you could actually physically fight with. You wouldn't have to be working with a green screen and having to do all that, because we didn't have the budget to do that. So I said, let's just do it old-fashioned.
Much funner to do it practical anyway.
Yeah.
That part was flawless. Just I gotta say that. Now, here's where I'm gonna nitpick with you. Casting. There was way too many hot women doctors. I've had women doctors now for years, and I've got a couple that are pretty darn hot. They wouldn't even have made the cut. I'm just gonna put that out there.
That's funny. You got me all panicking that you were going to get all review-like on me, and then you did that, and I had to laugh. Yeah, well, I think that's one of the formulas in horror movies.
Well, we wanted to have an Australian and a British because we wanted more of an international film. So that's why the lead is Australian and the gentleman is British. And then we had some other very attractive doctors in it as well. But I think it was just based on having a lot of fun, and also as a producer, knowing what you have to sell.
I mean, the
and know what
genre, you
people
know
buy.
this, the genre is women, and they like to have sexy women. Look, Alien, she's in a t-shirt and underwear fighting a creature.
Yeah, but she's mid.
1979 that was.
Sexual icon. But, okay. Now, now first of all, I played Dr. I believe what was her name? Erin, Dr. Erin. Okay, the main girl. First of all, to give you a compliment though, the acting, I give you a hard time about the casting. The acting was perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Flawless.
Thank you.
Absolutely, everybody knocked it out of the park. That being said, when Dr. Erin cries, is she that talented, or did y'all like spray her with pepper spray?
She's that
No,
talented.
she cried on the fly, and it's hard to do that.
God, that wasn't just one tear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's that talent. She's an amazing actress.
She was really, really...
She was in, have you heard the movie called Monsters of Man? It did so well. I mean, 25 million views that film got. And Netflix's Monster of Man, that's where we found her. She was the star of that. And then Dr. Conrad was the star of, he had a lot of big movies in the past, Bulletproof Monk and all those. The British actor, but she's that talented, Wes. She could.
She gave it her all. I mean, she was dragged across the floor. She was covered in blood, and she wanted to do all her stunts. She really put everything into it.
You opened a doorway, and this thing came through.
Whatever you're doing.